To deliver our opening keynote address, I now invite Mr. Venkatesh Veerachamy, Chief Operating Officer, Zuci Systems, on stage. Over to you, Mr. Venkatesh.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Soundera Rajesh, for the wonderful, I would say very powerful insights as always, actually. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Um, Thank you so much for having me here today. I mean, it's truly an honor to speak on a topic that is very closer to my heart, about inclusion. When we speak about inclusion, the conversation often revolves around practices, policies, frameworks, or the some numbers. But to me, inclusion begins with something like far more personal. I would say it starts with the question: how do people feel when they walk into work each day? Do they feel seen? Do they feel safe? Do they feel like they matter? But what I have learned is over the years, inclusion is not just a line on the career page, and it is certainly not one of the HR initiatives that we can take it. But inclusion is not a glorious project, but it is an essential practice. And the real leaders are they don't just sign the policies, and they set the tone, what we mean it, and they walk the talk. It is not about getting grand gestures, but about small, let's say, consistent actions that say you belong here. To pick some more examples that we do at Shuchi, we try to make inclusion as part of who we are, just what we do. You know, we don't have a DEI team hidden on a corner. We don't see it as like, uh, checkbox exercise, but instead we embed it into how we work, how we speak, how we make decisions. We call our DA efforts as ID. In short form, I would call it as identity. It is our way of reminding ourselves that behind every title and resume is a human being, and with a unique story, a struggle, and a strength. Inclusion is truly is in Shuchi's DNA, I would say, and that credit does not go to the senior leadership team. It goes to every team member who chose to say, "I see you, I hear you, I am with you." I mean, again, I'm repeating. It goes to every team member who chooses to say, "I see you, I hear you, I'm with you." That is very important. And let me take a very small example. I mean, I would say like very meaningful. Every time when I walk around the office, I make it a point to ask everyone, "How are you?" It is not about asking, how's the project going, but truly, how are you? It is just a, 2 second, 3 second chat, but it 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 sometimes I feel like it becomes a deeper conversation, maybe about your children's exams, or it could be any health related or handling any customer escalations or something like that. But what is important is it starts with a, "Hey, how are you doing?" That is very important. I mean, that I've been you know taking it every day, like when I look at the workplace actually. And these little moments have taught me more about the leadership than any business books. Because when people feel emotionally safe, they don't just perform, but they also perform at their best. That is what we have seen over the years, and it has helped to perform at the best, I would say. Coming to women leadership, today we are about 44.4 percentage of our workforce is women. Again, I'm repeating, today we are about 44.4 percentage of our workforce is women. This did not just happen. It was driven by intent. Through our initiative, Devi, we provide mentorship, coaching to aspiring women leaders, but you know, more importantly, we provide them a safe circle to grow. I remember, once a manager said, like, no, for the first time, I don't feel the only women in the room. That moment stayed with me because inclusion is not about, or it's not just about adding more chairs at the table. It is about making sure people feel welcome in the chair they are already in. So if someone asks me, like, how do you measure the DE success? I would say, um, when someone call their manager and say that I need help without fear. I mean, I would like to reiterate, when someone can call their manager and say, I need help without fear. Generally, it is our tendency not to seek for help. But if the team says, I need help, and again, note, without fear is very important. I'd say yes, it is inclusive. And when someone returns from parental leave and finds their role waiting for them, and I would say one more thing, when someone with a different ability or background feels I'm hurt, that is important. That is where we feel like, we are on the right path. Because when people feel respected, again, I want to highlight this, respected, they do their best at work. They stay, they refer others, and our brand grows. Not through ads, or it is through culture, I would say. I'll be honest, we don't always get it right, but we are committed to listening, learning, and improving. But again, to highlight here, listening is the art of skill that we have been following, and it is very, very important for every leader. Generally, we hear that, any problem, any challenge, when it is listened carefully, half of the problem is resolved. That's why I would like to again and again emphasize the word listening, and then learning, and then improving. That would be crucial, I would say. And that's what, you know, walking the talk means. Let me close with this. Remember how you made them feel. If we can create a workplace where people seen, supported, and celebrated, that is when we are truly done our job as leaders. Thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you, Avatar team, for this wonderful opportunity. Thanks a lot. Thank you.